Hello and welcome once again to D4E. In Australia, APRA CPS 230 has elevated operational risk to a board-level issue. But one area that often remains unmanaged is Excel. Critical reports, reconciliations, regulatory inputs, and risk calculations are still running in spreadsheets, often with no structured monitoring. Today, I'll show you how D4E SQL can discover, monitor, and remediate Excel files in support of CPS 230 governance using Excel itself. This is not about replacing Excel, it's about governing it. Here we look at a D4E command called AUDIT. The command we type in here on the submit screen is simply called AUDIT. We simply point it to a folder and it will discover all the Excel files that can be found in that folder. It extracts structural governance signals such as formula counts and complexity, hidden and very hidden sheets, external links. Here what has happened is that it went through the folder and found files or Excel files that are worth scanning, and it scanned every file that you can find. It shows here on the log where or what it did with those governance signals. It actually wrote on a separate audit file, which we shall see later, all this information. So this is the discovery phase. This information are the same type of indicators used by enterprise spreadsheet governance tools, but captured directly inside Excel with a simple command. Under CPS 230, organization must identify operational risks in critical processes. Uncontrolled spreadsheets can be one of those risks. Discovery is the first step, which is what we have just done. Now, we will look at the command to read the audit files that we created by auditing the folder. It's called READPARSEAUDIT. Here we see by running that command, the audit files are extracted and converted to simple lines or a table that can be reported easily in Excel itself. This is the audit events, and this is a simple parsing of those audit lines events. As you can see, the audit lines were converted to a file, and that any reports already existing will be refreshed with this new audit table. From here, we can build governance dashboards using Excel pivots, such as these pivot tables already existing. We can see them, and they would have been automatically refreshed from the table that was created. For example, here we have the UDA activity per file, and when they happen, here we have a usage table by GUI ID, and here we can have UDA errors that we've encountered, and for example, we may show some dormant files as the case may be. So this can become your actual spreadsheet risk register. You can track changes over time, compare scans, and monitor high-risk files. CPS 230 requires ongoing monitoring, not just identification. D4E enables repeatable monitoring inside the organization. Now, let us look at remediation of Excel files. This is D4E's differentiator. Most governance tools stop at monitoring. D4E goes further. It enables remediation. We can demonstrate this as follows. In previous demos, we have seen how we can transform Excel formulas, lambdas, SQL, even VBA code into data actions. For example, we have this existing spreadsheet report, simple report, or financial model, and they have various Excel formulas. We have shown that from the financial model formulas, we can create data actions and store them like this for each and every formula. And to make it explicit and transparent, we can put the formulas, the lambdas, the SQL in a format like this. Even VBA code can be formed into a format like this. By refactoring logic into structured data actions, we are removing volatile functions, eliminating external links, standardizing calculation logic. Instead of replacing Excel entirely, our financial model, here D4E allows you to improve and control high-risk spreadsheets. This is particularly useful for high-value, high-impact spreadsheets where full platform replacement may not be justified. To summarize, if you are a risk manager, compliance lead, or finance governance professional, you may not need a multi-million-dollar transformation platform. You may need visibility, monitoring, and targeted remediation of critical spreadsheets. D4E provides discovery through that command we've seen, audit, and monitoring through that command we've seen, READPARSEAUDIT, and then you have audit evidence, and then you have remediation capability at the fraction of the cost of enterprise transformation projects. A pragmatic approach to spreadsheet governance. In closing, CPS 230 does not prohibit Excel. It requires control over operational risk. So D4E SQL helps organizations bring spreadsheet processes into a governed framework without replacing Excel entirely. Thank you and see you next time.